Alright, so here's a quick rundown of all the nodes it comes with this node group. So first we have this rectangle, and as you can see it can be beveled. So we have this external bevel, which rounds it from 0 to 1, to the smallest being just straight corners, and then the most it can round is the smallest edge. And then, so that's the mask, but let's look at the round. So the round is the height map, and if we go into cycles, we can see that this is rounding the actual corners, and flat will make everything flat. And so from the top it's still this nice beveled object. You look down at it, it's like this, and then this internal bevel I haven't talked about. I have another video up about the brick texture specifically that I do talk a little bit more about it, but there's a gradient that gets applied to get from the inner to the outer shape, and this internal bevel pushes the inner shape to the outer shape. Then that also goes from 0 to 1. Okay, let's go to the polygon pyramid. So this is a polygon. You can change it to any number of sides you want. And let's see the height map. So this is a pyramid because it turns into a pyramid. There we go. No matter what, it's going to be pointed. So there's the exterior roundness again. Turns it from the polygon to a circle at maximum. And then we also have the flatness percentage, and that actually just flattens out the top from 0 to 1. And then we also have this automatic rotation. So this rotates it so that there's always an edge on the x-axis. So if I change this to like 5, we can see it's still flat over here. Square, triangle, there we go. So in the same vein we have the smooth polygon. So again, so that's the beveling, the exterior bevel. We have the interior bevel, which is easier to see with the height mask. Okay, this is smooth now, so it's rounded. It's rounded on the corners and the edges. And then we have the interior bevel. And then we have the automatic rotation. Okay, moving on. So here we have an ellipse. So if you know the ellipse equation, a and b, those are the standard variables, but this is essentially the height and the width. And we can look at the rounded. Ooh, let's turn off the flatten. So yep, that's a rounded ellipse. We have a cone. And then we have the flatness percentage. Okay. Oh, you know what? I haven't been explaining these UVs. So these UVs show what the have a unique UV for the center of each shape. Also, for this rectangle, I have the length. The length can be used if you want to do something special around it. Moving on. So we have a torus. So yep, it's a ring-like shape. And then we have the rounded version. And then we have the sharp version, which goes from the center of the radius down to thickness on each side, but it's straight. And then, so we can increase the radius, and that thickness doesn't change, so it's just, yep. And we can change the thickness. And then we have the flatness percentage. It goes from 0 to 1. Okay. So here's the tile pyramid hexagon. And so this is tiling our hexagons just with a frequency of 2. Those are the masks. It's easier to explain it with the height first. So yep, those are our pyramids. And we have the flatness percentage, which goes from 0 to 1 like before. But then here we also have this polygon edge mask. And so if we look at that, that's actually just the parts that are getting the gradient applied. So maybe if you want a different texture there, you got that. And then with that we have the UVs. So if you wanted to say get the UVs of just where the edges that are getting beveled, you can scale it by the mask, and then there you've got just where the gradient is. We also have the position of every tiling hexagon. So if you see, every single hexagon has a unique position, and with that we can do cool things like having every single hexagon be a little bit different. Maybe we apply a Voronoi and then we use that to rotate it, so there's some randomness on each one. But I have another video where I do that with the brick texture, so yep, again, just go check that out. So this is the same thing but with the smooth hexagon. We have the height, border thickness, there we go, the scale, and we got the UVs, we got the position. Okay, so now we have the tiling of an ellipse, and so we can change the separation, we can change the A value, and then we have the flatness percentage that you can really only see with the height map. Okay. And then we also have the cone version of an ellipse. We got the UVs, got the position, and we have another tile to move on to. So the same thing with the torus. And it's rounded, it's sharp, it's got UVs, it's got positions. And then the brick. So the brick I have a big old video on, but you can see we can actually bevel the corners. We can have it rounded. Ooh, way too big, way too bright. And we can have them be flat. We can also just get the mortar, so we can use that for grout or just a separate texture or whatever you want to do. We have positions, we got UVs, you can change the change what the bricks look like, you can change the border in between them. And what's nice is that when we change the sizes as compared to the normal brick texture in Blender, it doesn't change the brick, the distance between each one. So, and let's see, we got that. We have the brick bevel, so we can actually change the amount of beveling that gets done. So right now I'm on the flat, but I can go to the round. We can see it's rounded. We can turn this into basically capsules. And then we also have the frequency. So if I zoom out, this is a frequency of 1, goes 2, 3. A little tough to see with the UVs on, but yeah. And then we have just your standard tiling UVs. Yeah, so you can, so here's just a tiling node. I just threw this in, it's super easy to make, but in case you want to make your own kind of stuff, you can use that as a basis. But yeah, you can, this gives you the UVs that are tiled like that. You throw it into maybe another shape and you can get your own tiling, or if you have custom shapes, you can tile it pretty easily like that. And then we've also got one more thing. So here's the radial array. So this kind of splits up UVs in a radial fashion. So that's 4, we can do 5. And when you throw this into a polygon, or whatever shape you want to use, it actually it displaces it around there, and we can change that. You can make your own custom shapes and get some really cool stuff out of this. You can do automatic rotation, so it's pointing like that. I mean, you can do a lot of cool stuff with this. And yeah, that's pretty much it. There's two goodies that I just use in the functions, but Cartesian to polar and polar to Cartesian. Simple. And yeah, that's it. So yeah, those are all the node groups that you'll get. Really handy stuff, and also way better than the standard tiling that you get from Blender. So yeah, check it out.